It's time to cook with the quarantine.
Alright guys, tonight we're making deep dish Chicago style pizza.
It's time to
Alright, so I'm going to start by adding some dry ingredients to the bowl, and the first thing I need is some flour. Next I'm going to add in some cornmeal. I'm going to add in some salt. And I'm going to add in some sugar. The last dry ingredient, some yeast. I'm going to whisk this all together. Now I'm going to add in the water and some melted butter. And the recipe does tell to mix this on a low speed, but of course I don't have one of those electronic mixers, so I get to do this the old school way. So with clean hands, I'm going to go in here and start kneading this, well, somewhat together. So I didn't do this very long, but hopefully I did it enough to mix everything. So now I'm going to go on to the next step. I'm going to pour some olive oil on here. And again, with clean hands, I'm going to cover this in the oil. And flip it and get the other side. Let's add a little more. Make sure this is fully covered. And the oil, get the sides. Now I'm going to get some plastic wrap, cover this, and let it sit for about 40 minutes. Now it's time to make the sauce, so I'm going to start by melting some butter. Not the paper, just the butter. So I'm going to let this melt down, and then I'm going to add my onions, oregano leaves, and salt. I'm going to add in my onions and cook these in the butter for about 5 minutes. Alright, I've measured out some oregano and salt, so I'm going to add this and cook it in with the onions. Now I'm going to add in some garlic. Probably too much, but that's okay. I bought diced tomatoes. I needed crushed tomatoes, so I just put them in my little food processor. And now I'm going to pour all of this in and hope that the middle piece doesn't fall out in the pot. And it didn't. Great. I'm going to add in some sugar, stir this, and then I'm going to let it simmer. Turn the temperature up to high, but now I'm going to turn it back down and let this simmer for about 30 minutes. Alright, so I just wiped the surface down with Clorox and water, and now I'm going to dry it off, because the next set of instructions tell me to lay the dough out on a dry surface. So let's do that. So the instructions say to turn the dough out onto a dry surface, and I'm going to roll into, it says a 15 by 12 inch rectangle. Now I don't have a ruler or anything. Not ruler, or I guess a kitchen ruler, I don't know. So we're just gonna roll this out. So not a rectangle. Let's see. But it's pretty large. So let's move on to the next step. The next step is to take this softened butter and rub over the dough, keeping, I think it says, leave an inch on the outside. So I'm just going to rub this all around the dough. Alright, so the next set of instructions tells me to roll the dough into a tight cylinder. And so let's do that. And now it says, with the seam side down, flatten into an 18 by 4 rectangle. So let's roll it out this way. Counter's not big enough. Alright, so I'm going to have to make some adjustments. I need to clear off the other side of the counter, wipe it down so that I can turn this and have more room. Alright, so I cleared off this side of the counter and cleaned it so I can flip the dough and have more room to spread everything out. Alright, so I think that's good enough. The next direction tells me to cut the rectangle in half crosswise, so let's hope that's that way. And then it says, working with 1/2, fold into thirds like a business letter. So 1. Okay. And then the next set of instructions say, pinch seams together to form a ball. Not really a ball, but I guess that's what it's saying. And then it says, repeat with the remaining half, return balls to the oiled bowl, cover lightly with plastic wrap and let rise in the refrigerator until nearly doubled in volume, 40 to 50 minutes. Alright, so back into this bowl we go. I'll sit it on the sides. Cover this with plastic wrap and then in the refrigerator. Alright, so almost at the finish line. Transfer dough to dry work surface. Roll out into a 13-inch circle. Again, I don't have a ruler or anything in here, so we're just gonna estimate. And I don't know how I'm going to get this into a circle. I'm going to cook one of them in the cast iron skillet, and so that's almost good enough. I need to stretch these two sides out just a little more. Alright, so that looks good. What I'm going to do now is transfer dough to the pan by rolling the dough loosely around the rolling pin. I saw this on a few videos. And now that it's on the pan, I have to wash this surface again. Rolling pin, lightly press dough into the pan and work the corners. So roll it out like this. Kind of worked, but kind of didn't. So work the dough into the pan. I don't know if I'm supposed to have... I don't think this is supposed to fold over, so I'm just going to push it down like this. So now I'm going to put all 2 cups of this. It's a lot of cheese. All 2 cups in here. And then I'm going to add some pepperoni. And now I'm gonna repeat with the other, and they'll be ready for the oven.
Definitely not.
Almost ready for the oven. I almost forgot about the pizza sauce. So I'm going to spread this over it. Spread the sauce over the pizza. And now I'm gonna sprinkle some Parmesan over the top. And now this is ready for the oven. So I'm gonna repeat with the other piece of dough that I have and the remaining ingredients, then I'll toss in the oven. Pan, I decided to use, I shredded my own cheese because I've done quite a bit of, or I've read quite a few articles that say pre-shredded cheese doesn't melt as well. So I decided to use pre-shredded cheese on one and then the block cheese on the other to see if I can tell a difference. Here are the pizzas going in. They're on the lowest rack at 425, and I'm gonna let them bake. I think it says for 20 to 30 minutes, so about 25. I realized that I didn't put black pepper or basil leaves in, so something didn't get fully seasoned, but it's okay. So it has been 25 minutes, and this is how they look. Looks delicious. All right, let's eat this cheese dish. Well, that's basically what it is, a lot of cheese. That's pretty good. Cheesy. I like it. It's a little salty, which is surprising. I didn't put a lot of salt in it, but I know that cheese has salt, so I guess from the salt that was already in the cheese mixed with the salt that I did put in the tomato sauce and just a very little bit of salt in the bread, I guess it all came together. But it's not overly salty, but if I did it again, I would add less salt. But it's good, as you can probably tell, because I'm on like bite number 4. Yeah. So I'm gonna finish eating, probably get another slice, and I'll see you guys in the next video.